Okay, welcome to another Chazara Shiur on Mishnah Gimel and Sugya Tesvav, where we're going to be going over the Gemara B'Havana, understanding, Bifnim, Gemara and Rashi with the Taich. Rashi is very important with the Taich. There's a lot of Rashis in this Gemara that take the place of the Gemara. They explain what the Gemara means. They're very vital to understanding the Gemara. And we're also going to go over the keywords. Baruch Hashem, I'm honored to have a very distinguished audience today. Today we're having a live Chazara Shiur. Give a round of applause. Okay. And I hope I will get part of your participation also throughout this year. Okay, let's move on straight to our Mishnah. Mishnah Gimel of our Perek, starting off the first case. Amar l'shnayim, if someone told two people, Gazalti le'echad mikem mana, I stole from one of you a mana. So again, I don't know who I stole from. These are words from the Mishnah. Okay, so again, Amar l'shnayim, he told two people, Gazalti le'echad mikem mana, I stole from one of you a mana. Ve'eni idea, and I don't know, who from you I stole. Or a second case. Or aviv shalach mikem, father of one of you, hifkidas money deposited by me and money. He gave me a money to watch. The any idea is when I don't know which one it was, and the fathers are no longer here to find out. So I don't know. Maybe I need to give it back to you. Maybe I need to give it back to you. I don't know. Says the Mishnah. What's the din? Nice money. You pay each one a money. Both in this case and in this case, you give each one a money. Why? Because he admitted by himself. The Ganav over here admitted by himself, and this fellow over here, the Shomer, also admitted by himself. And Rashi alludes to the Gemara, as we'll learn later, what exactly the reason is in more depth. Moving on to the next case of the Mishnah. The next case is Shnayim sheifkidu eitz elechad. Two people that deposited eitz elechad by one person. Zeh maneh v'zeh masayim. One gave a maneh and one gave 200 zuz. Think about it as like $1 and cents. A maneh is $1. Zuz is like cents. So one gave one maneh, $1, and v'zeh gave masayim. This gave 200 cents, which is $2. Okay, they gave him two sums of money to watch. And then when they come to pick it up after some time, this one says, I gave the 2,000, and this one says, I gave the 200, not the 2,000, the 200. I gave the 200 zuz, and I gave the 200 zuz. And he doesn't know who to give the 200 zuz to. Or another similar case, and so to two vessels. Okay, we gave the example of a Ferrari and a Toyota. Very different in price. Right? Well, they both gave the Ferrari, they both gave a car to watch. We don't know who gave what. And then they say, this one says the nicer one is mine. This one says the nicer one is mine. So what do? So in these two cases, there's a machlokes. Tanakama says, take for example over here by the Kalim. You give the smaller one to one of them. Let's say you give the Toyota to this guy. And from the bigger one, let's say you take out the engine. Let's say the Toyota is worth $10,000. Okay? The Ferrari, just the engine, is worth $10,000. So you take out the engine out of the Ferrari, you give the engine to one of them, and the rest of the Ferrari, the body of the Ferrari, you'll keep until they figure it out. And from the bigger one, nice and to make cut, and you give the money of the smaller one, Lasheni, to the second one. You give the same amount, the same equivalent of the Toyota. So you give the engine to the other one. And the remainder should rest until the other comes. Rabbi Yossi says, 1 second. So Rabbi Yossi he challenges Tanakama and then he says his own thing. He challenges, he says, 1 second. If you're going to give a Toyota to this one and an engine to this one, or let's say in this case, you're going to give 100 to this one and 100 to this one, and you're going to keep the third 100. If so, what did the swindler lose? The one who's lying and saying the 200 is mine, really he only gave 100, and now he's saying 200. He's not losing anything. He's never going to admit. Rather, it's up to Rabbi Yossi. Everything should rest until Elionah comes. So over here in the case of the money, all 300 should stay and wait until Elionah comes. In the case of the Ferrari and the Toyota, both cars should wait until Elionah comes. Don't give part of it back, because then whoever lied is not losing anything. Rather, everything should wait. Let's look inside the Gemara. Let's learn the Mishnah with the Taich, with the Rashis. Not so many Rashis on the Mishnah. Please take out your Gemaras, and even if you're watching this later, if you're rewatching this, take out your Gemara at home. Look inside. Say it quietly with him along with us. It internalizes it a lot more, and it really will help you. And besides, you're bringing Torah, Hashem's Torah, bringing it into more limbs of your body, which is the greatest thing possible. Okay. Amar l'shnayim. The Mishnah starts off. Amar l'shnayim. If someone told two people, a lot of these words we already had on the board, so it's a little bit familiar. We're going to go a little bit quicker. Amar l'shnayim. If you told two people, Gazalti le'echad mikem mana, I stole from one of your mana. Ve'eni idea is mikem, and I don't know who I stole it from. Or aviv shel echad mikem, a father of one of you, meaning one of your fathers. Yifkiv li mana, deposited by me a mana. Ve'eni idea, and I don't know who it is. I don't know, maybe it's your father, maybe it's your father. What's the din? In Nice and Lazem mana, you give this one a mana, Lazem mana, and you give this one a mana. Why? Shahayda b'piatzma, because he admitted by himself. Next case. Shnayim sheifkidu eitzel echad. Two people that deposited by one person. Zem mana, this one gave a mana, v'zem asayim, and this one gave 200 zuz, which is 2 mana. Zem mishalim asayim, this one says, I gave the 200. V'zem mishalim asayim, and this one says the 200 is mine. Or as Rabbi Gordon says,
Mine's,
very good. Nice and lazem mana, v'lazem mana. What's the din? You give this one a mana. Sorry. Nice and lazem mana, v'lazem mana. You give one mana to this one and one mana to this one. What about the third mana, third 100? V'hasha'ar, and the remainder, yehimunach ha'chiyav elio, should rest until Eliyahu becomes. Amar Rabbi Yasi. Rabbi Yasi says, in Cain, if so, in Cain, Aleph Kaf. If so, what did the swindler lose? Ella, rather, meaning he's getting what he originally put in. He's not losing anything. Ella, rather, everything should rest until Eliyahu comes, or until we actually prove, or we actually figure out whose really it is. V'chein shnei kelim, and so to two vessels. Last case in the Mishnah. V'chein shnei kelim, and so to two vessels. Echad yafa mana, one is worth 1 mana, ve'echad yafa elef zuz, and one is worth 1,000 zuz. By raise of hand, how much mana is 1,000 zuz? Rafi?
$100? $10?
Very good, $10. Beautiful. Zeh oimer yafa shali, this one says, the nicer one is mine. The one that's elef zuz, the one that's 1,000 zuz, $10. He says it's mine. V'zeh oimer yafa shali, and the other one says, the nicer one is mine. Nicer is a katan. So what do? You give this smaller one, you give a Toyota to one of them. The other one from the bigger car, from the Ferrari, let's say. Nice, and you give Dmei the worth of the smaller one, meaning the worth of the Toyota, the engine, which is worth $10,000. Lasheni to the second person. V'hasha'ar, and the remainder, the rest of the Ferrari, should rest until the owner comes. Rabbi Yasi, and the same machlek says before. Rabbi Yasi said, "In Cain, if so, what did the swindler lose? Ella, rather, everything should rest until the Navi comes." Rashi, those who are specifically listening for Rashi, we're doing Rashi now. Shehoida mipiatzma is Rashi because why does he need to pay both? Hoil because this is the reason. Because he admitted by himself. And in the Gemara explains what is this reason, as we'll learn soon. This one says that 200 is mine, Zakt Rashi. After some time, when the two people come to get their deposit back, and each one says, I gave you the 200, and this one says, no, I gave you the 200. So the Shomer doesn't remember anymore. What did the swindler lose? In Cain, if so, says Rabbi Yasi, in Cain, if so, lo yoida lo'olam, the swindler won't admit forever ala emes on the truth, because he's getting back what he put in. He's not losing anything, so why should he ever admit that he was lying? It's a good bet. You try to get 200, you couldn't, okay. So why should he admit? If you make him lose everything, says Rabbi Yasi, if you make him lose everything, then maybe he'll admit. I want to get at least what he put in. At least try to get his 100. From the bigger one, How do you take money from the bigger one? You should break it. Break the bigger keli and take the engine out. Break it and give part of it, the worth of the smaller one. Give it to the other person, and the rest should stay until another comes. Moving on to the Gemara. Now, now the Gemara is going to have three contradictions and three answers. And watch how this unfolds. The Gemara, fact the Gemara. But before we go on to the actual Gemara, well, let's go through Yedias Mukdamis. Yedias Mukdamis, number one, Mamon Hamutul B'Safik. By raising my look at me, what is Mamon Hamutul B'Safik? Levi.
Money that left in a doubt.
Very good. Money that is lying in a doubt. Who can give me an example of money that's lying in a doubt? Money that we don't know what to do with. Meaning there's a doubt about it. Yes?
There's money in the middle of the street and two people you find it and two people say it's theirs.
Very good. Good example. You find money in the middle of the street and you don't know whose it is, and two people come over to you and say, it's mine. It's mine. And you don't know what to do with it. It's money It's money that's lying in a doubt. You don't know whose it is. Now you have two options. What do you do with money that's lying in a doubt? Option number one is Oki Mamona Becheskas Mari, aka Oki Mamona Becheskasai. What is Oki Mamona Becheskas Mari or Oki Mamona Becheskasai?
You establish the money in the Chazara Shiur.
Very good. You establish the money. Set the money wherever it is. Wherever it is that right now, leave it there. That's Uki Mamona. Establish it where it is. Establish whoever's holding on to it now, whoever has the chazaka over it now, whoever's holding on to it now, leave it right there until we figure it out. So in the case that Zalman gave, if someone finds it, let the finder keep it until we figure out whose it actually is. Next option is if you have money that's lying in a doubt. Next option is misfeka mafkinan mamona. What is misfeka mafkinan mamona? Isaac?
With suffix, you take out one.
Very good. Out of a suffix, you take out more money out of pockets to pay off everyone. So in the case of finding, right? So you found it, you don't know whose it is. In this case, you would take out more money out of your own pocket and pay off both of them. Okay. Now in the case of finding, we would never say that. But in other cases, maybe we have an option of taking out money over a suffix, paying off everyone out of pocket. Misfeka, out of a suffix, I'll type the words, misfeka from a suffix. Mafkinan, we take out mamona money. Okay, mafkinan mamona, we take out money, that means we take out more out of pocket and pay off everyone. So two options again. Number one, leave it where it is until we figure it out. Misfeka mafkinan mamona, we take out more money to pay everyone off. Now let's move on to our Gemara, our Sugya. Zog the Gemara from our Mishnah. The Gemara starts off with a diuk. Alma. The word Alma at the beginning of the Gemara is a diuk, it's a key word. Alma, we see from here. Alma is kind of a raya, kind of a diuk. I would say actually it's more of a raya, more of a proof. We see from here, okay, and the Gemara said, we see from our Mishnah, when this Ganiv told two people, I stole from one of your money and I don't know who I stole it from. What's the din? He needs to pay this one a money and this one a money. What? Right? So why? Because he admitted from himself. Zak the Gemara Alma, we see from here. What do we see? That when we have a doubt, who he needs to pay to? We take out more money out of pocket. Okay? And we do not say just leave it where it is, leave it by the Ganiv until we figure it out. And I'll ask you a contradiction. Now, Urimini is a keyword of a kasha. Now the Gemara is going to ask a kasha, psichol kasha. So first the Gemara comes with a assumption. The Gemara analyzes the first case and says, we see from here, now the Gemara asks a contradiction on that. What do you mean? I'll ask you a contradiction from the end of the Mishnah. At the end of the Mishnah we learned two people that deposited by one person. One gave a money, one gave two money. You won't give 200 zuz. And this one says mine, the 200 is mine, and this one says the 200 is mine. What does the Tanakama say? And the same thing that the AC says. We don't take out money to pay both of them off. Rather, whatever is in a doubt should stay by this person. Okay? The Tanakama says you pay 100 to this guy, 100 to this guy. And then the money that's in a doubt stays by this shomer until we find out whose it is. 1 second. So from here we see set the money, leave the money wherever it is, and don't take out more money. So how does this work? We see from the first half of the Mishnah that that we go by the rule of mafkinן. We take out money from a suffix over a suffix, and from the end of the Mishnah we see the rule of set the money where it is. And for the Gemara, hey, you're asking a kasha, you're asking a contradiction from Gezel and Pikadon. They're very different. This is a case of theft, and this is talking about a case of guarding something. What's talking the difference? Over here, where he did an Aveda, where the guy who did an Aveda, the Rabbanan gave him a punishment. The Rabbanan gave him a knas. He didn't pay both. Over here, the shomer, did he do an Aveda? No, he didn't do an Aveda, so the Rabbanan didn't give him a punishment. And therefore, he does not need to take out money. So you know what the Gemara is going to do now? The Gemara is going to say, okay, sure, no problem. I'll ask you a contradiction from Pikadon and Pikadon, and I'll ask you a contradiction from Gezel and Gezel, which is going to be the next 2 parts of the Gemara. So far we covered the first contradiction and the first answer. Okay, the contradiction from the beginning of the Mishnah, we see that we take out money. End of the Mishnah, we keep the money where it is. Answer is, well, this is talking about Gezel. He did an Aveda, so it punished him. And over here, it's a Pikadon, he didn't do an Aveda. As the first question, first contradiction, first answer. Let's learn a bit from him, and then we'll move on to the next question, the next contradiction. Again, looking inside the actual Gemara, we're holding the beginning of the Gemara. Alma. Alma, we see from here, Alma, we see from here, Mispeka, out of a doubt, mafkinן ממונא, we take out money. V'lo yamninן, and we do not say, Oki ממונא b'cheskas marei, establish the money, set the money in the holding of its owner, of where it is right now. Frag the Gemara or Mini, and I'll ask you a contradiction. So again, the 2 keywords that we just passed over were Alma. We see from here, which is a raya, proof. We see from here that we take out money out of a suffix from the beginning of the Mishnah. And the second keyword is Urimini. I'll ask you a contradiction that's opening up a kasha. Urimini, and I'll ask you a kasha. Frag the Gemara, Shnayim sheifkidu etzel echad. 2 people that deposited by 1 person. This is the end of the Mishnah. Zemon, if Zemasayim, this gave 1 money, this one gave 200 zuz. Ze'aymer Shali Masayim, this one says the 200 zuz is mine. Ze'aymer Masayim Shali, and the other one says the 200 is mine. Nice, and Lezemon, if Lezemon, he didn't give this one a money, and this one a money. V'asha'ar, and the remainder, Yemunach Hachi Eliyahu, should wait and rest until, leave it where it is, until Eliyahu comes. So we see that we leave it where it is until we figure it out. We don't take out more money out of pocket to pay everyone off. We say, no, leave it where it is until we figure it out. Why do we see this contradiction? And for the Gemara, Amar Le, wait 1 second, nobody asked the kasha, what's Amar Le? I'm glad he asked. Some Gemaras say that Amar Le is a mistake of the Girsa, is a mistake in the version. But being that our Gemara says Amar Le is said back to him, we're going to keep it in. We keep according to the version that we have. We don't make our own changes in the Gemara. But it's interesting to note that some Gemaras don't have the words Amar Le. Amar Le, so he said back to him, and for the Gemara, Amar Le, he said back to him, Pikadon and Gezel Karabis. You're asking from theft onto a Pikadon, onto an item. They're very different. Gezel Ga'avad Isura, by theft, where he did a Aveda, we did it Isur, we did a prohibition. Kansu Rabbanon, the Rabbanon gave him a kras, gave him a punishment. And he needs to pay off both. Pikadon, a item, a deposit, the loy avad isura, where he did not do an isra, he didn't do any avera, loy comes to Rabbanon. The Rabbanon did not punish him. Very simple. And we're going to go straight on to the introduction to the next two pieces.
Rashi.
So Zogdi, 1 second. We're going to go on to the introduction, and then we're going to pause. We're going to pause back for Rashi on the next part of the slideshow. Virami pikadon apikadon. So the Gemara says, okay, fine, no problem. Virami pikadon apikadon. I ask you a contradiction from pikadon onto pikadon. Virami gezel and gezel. I ask you a contradiction from gezel and gezel. Okay, yeah, I can't ask from one thing to another. Okay, I'll ask you a contradiction in pikadon itself. I'll ask you a contradiction in gezel itself. As the next two pieces of Gemara are going to continue on. Rashi. Rashi the Brahmasal misfeka mafkinam mamona. From a doubt, we take out money. Where do we see this in the Mishnah? Over a doubt, we take out more money out of pocket. The Katani, because it says in the Mishnah, you need to give this one a money and this one a money. How much did the Ganav steal? 1 money or 2 money? Anyone?
2. 1.
How much did the Ganav steal? 1 money or 2 money?
1.
1 money. But now he has to pay more. He needs to take out more money out of pocket. He needs to give this one a money and this one a money. That's how we see the mafkinah mamayna. That's how we learn out the rule of mafkinah mamayna from the Mishnah. We do not say, Zok Rashi, we don't say that let it stay until we figure it out. Before we learn this Rashi, it's important to remember the difference between a toiveya and a nitba. What is a toiveya? Can't see?
The one who's demanding.
Very good. The one who's demanding. What is a nitba? Lady?
The one who's being demanded.
Very good. The one that is being demanded. Now let's learn the Rashi inside. Very good. V'loya, meaning we do not say kishezeh toiveya when this person is demanding. And this one says, I don't know. Whether to you, maybe I owe you money, maybe I owe your friend money. I don't know. Oki set the money in the hands, in the holding of this person who's being demanded of the nitba. No, we should not make this nitba, this person who's being demanded of, we shouldn't make him lose money. Rather, which rest until Eliyahu Hanavi comes. Okay, on to the next piece. Okay. Zok Gemara. Okay, fine. I'll ask you a question from Pikadon and Pikadon. What's the contradiction from Pikadon and Pikadon? Well, we have the same part of the Mishnah as before that talks about a pikadon, and we learn out from it. Oki mamona b'cheskasei. The Gemara is actually just going to reference it and say v'chulu. Okay, the Gemara is actually not going to go through the whole thing. So we have it here. And the Gemara mentions from earlier in the Mishnah, from the second case in the Mishnah. This is the second option of the first case in the Mishnah. One of your fathers deposited by me a money. I don't know which one gave it to me. What's the din? You give this one a money to this one a money. Why? Because he admitted by himself. 1 second. We see from here, in a case of a deposit, in a case of pikadon, we see what we learn out. Out of a suffix, we take out money out of pocket to pay off everyone. The Gemara, 1 second, the meaning, I'll ask you a contradiction. We learned over here, and the Gemara just references v'chulu. The Gemara starts off sh'taim she'efkidu v'chulu, because we just brought it in the previous case, the previous kasha. So we learned over here that when 2 people deposited by you money, one gave 100, one gave 200. Then you, whatever is in a doubt, you hold on to until it comes. So from here we see uki mamona, set it where it is until we figure it out. So 1 second, a contradiction from a deposit to a case of the deposit. So what's going on? And for the Gemara, in this case, it's as if 2 people gave him the money to watch separately. And very important, listen up, what Rashi adds over here. Did 2 people give him money over here, or 1? Anyone?
1.
Lady?
2.
2 people gave him money?
Oh.
In this case, how many people gave him money?
2.
So the Gemara uses that term. It's as if 2 people. But in the case of the Mishnah, this guy says to one of them, Sorry, this guy says to these two people. One of your fathers gave me a money. I don't know which one. So how much money was he watching? How much? How? He says, one of your fathers gave me a money to watch. One of your fathers. Either your father or your father. So how much money is it? He's watching one money. Says Rashi that since it's one person who gave him a money, it's as if a case of two separate people that gave him a money to watch separately, individually, privately, that he needs to keep confidentiality one from another. He needs to know who gave him what. It's like a banker who watches people's money. Does he need to remember who gave him what?
No.
Of course he does. Imagine, if there's any banker that's not gonna know who gave him what, I'm not giving him my money to watch, right? He's gonna put my money in a big pile and he's not gonna remember how much I put in. That's a big problem, right? So over here, it's as if these two people gave him money separately to watch, and he needs to remember which one gave him what. The two people give him money to watch, or one person? One person, but it's as if two people gave it to him, and he needs to keep confidential who gave him what. But over here, it's as if they gave it to him together in one bundle. And Rashi adds, very, very important, listen to what Rashi adds. It's not that they actually gave it to him in one bag. They gave it to him in separate bags. But they gave it to them, they gave it to the shomer in front of each other. And they showed that they trusted each other. They didn't hide from each other how much they're depositing. So if your friend, so the shomer thinks to himself, one second, if you guys are not careful and you trust each other and you don't mind if the other guy knows how much you put in and you're not worried that he's going to come later and steal it, then why should I be more careful than you? You're trusting each other. Why shouldn't I rely on that? You know, you guys are trusting each other. I'm not going to remember myself who gave what. I know that between both of you gave 300. You figured out yourselves. You guys trust each other. But over here, since he had to remember himself, since the shomer had to remember himself, who gave him what, therefore, now you don't remember, pay both. You had to remember who gave you what. So you need to pay both. Over here, did the shomer need to remember who got what? No. Why? Because they gave it to him all together, in front of each other, not confidential. Over here it was confidential, so he has to remember who gave him what. Let's learn the Gemara inside with the Rashis. We're holding inside the Gemara right after the introduction of V'Rami Pikadon Pikadon, V'Rami Gezel Gezel. And the Gemara continues. Pikadon Pikadon. What's the contradiction from Pikadon Pikadon? The Qatar Nireisha, because it says in the Nireisha of the Mishnah, Oy aviv shalachad mikam hifkid etzli money, or one of your fathers, either your father or your father, deposited by me a money. Ve'eini idea ezehu, and I don't know who it is. I don't know which one it is. Nice and l'zeh you give this one a money and this one a money. So we see from here that misfeika mafkinun b'mayna, from a suffix we take out money because you need to pay off both. Fred the Gemara or the I'll ask you a contradiction. Shnayim sheifkidu v'chulu. We learned to the end of the Mishnah, two people that deposited, one gave 100, one gave 200. And the end of the Mishnah says that whatever is in a doubt stays there until we figure it out. So from there we see that misfeika, loy mafkinun b'mayna, we don't take money out over a suffix, rather we keep it where it is until we figure it out. And for the Gemara, Amar Rava said, Reisha, the beginning of the Mishnah, Nasa, we make as if Kimi Sheif Kiduloi, as if it was deposited by him, Bishnei Krichos, in two bundles. It's as if two people gave him money to watch separately, confidentially, each one from another, in two separate bundles. So he has to remember who gave him what. The Habalei Lameidat, he has to be careful and know who gave him what. Seifa, the end of the Mishnah, however, Nasa, we make as if Kemisha Kiduloi, as if they deposited by him B'krach Echad in one bundle. The loy have that because he does not have to be careful. Why doesn't he have to be careful when two people give him money in one bundle? Kegoin, for example, the Hafkidu Tarvayu, that both of them deposited. Behadi Adodi, listen to these words. Behadi Adodi by each other, they deposited with each other. Bechad Zimna one time. The Omar Lulu, because the Shomer could say to them, Ant Gufaychu, you yourselves, Loi Kapdisu Adodi, are not careful on each other. No, I should be careful. You guys are not careful yourselves on each other. I should be more careful than you about your money. If you don't care about your money, why should I care more than you? I'll guard it, but I'm not going to care and make sure and remember who has what, who owns what. If you guys trust each other, I'll rely on you to continue trusting each other. Rashi. So those who are listening specifically for Rashi, pay attention to Rashi and look inside. Reish. Rashi the Bramaskal Reish. This is already, Rashi is explaining the answer of the Gemara. Reish, the beginning of the Mishnah, the Chad Gavra, that one person, Hifki, that's like deposited by him, the Havale, and it is to him, the Havale, and it is to him, Kishnain, like two people. Hifki, that's like deposited by him, Bishnei Krichas in two bundles. So even though it's one person, but it's as if two people deposited by him in two separate bundles. Koloimar, meaning to say, Zeh Shaloi Bifnei Zeh. This one deposited by him, not in front of the other one. The Havale Lemeida, and the Shomer has to be careful. He has to be specific. Mi Hifki, that's Leimona. Who gave to him a Mona? Umi Masayim, who gave to him two Mona. Seifa, the end of the Mishnah, however, Sheifkidu Loi, Shneim, that both of them deposited by him, Zeh Bifnei Zeh, this one in front of another one, Havale, he has to, it is to him, Kemi Shenemanim Zal Zeh, as if these two people are trusted one to another. Lehafkid Shnei Biknenaisam, to deposit both of their deposits, Bitzrei Echad in one bundle. The less le'lemeidak, that because the shomer does not have to be careful. Ma yesh lezeh b'soichai, what this person has inside of it. Uma yesh lechaveirei, and what his friend has. The afal gavan, even though the loy krach echad hava, that really it wasn't actually one bundle. Mihu, however, keivan sheif kidu zeh b'fnei zeh. Since they deposited one in front of another, meaning they weren't confidential about it, Gilu Daton, they revealed their thoughts, Shaloi Chashdu Zeh, that they did not suspect one another. Loimar, to say, Shemo Chaveiroi, maybe his friend Yitba Masayim is going to demand the 200. They trusted one another. They showed very clearly we trust each other. And I don't mind if my friend knows how much money I'm depositing. So the Shomer thinks to himself, if you don't mind, if you guys trust each other, then I'm not going to be so careful. I'll remember that you guys together gave 300. When you come together, you guys will trust each other, and you're not going to try to scam each other. So that's why the Shomer didn't have to be careful and know who gave what. Moving on to the third contradiction in the Gemara. Now the Gemara asks from Gezel on Gezel, from theft on theft. What do we see? We see in the beginning of the Mishnah, if someone told two people, I stole from one of you a money, and I don't know who I stole it from, then what is the din? You give both of them a money. Why? Because he admitted by himself. However, we learn in the Mishnah, so we see from here, Misveika mafkinan mamona. From a suffix, we take out money. We take more money out of pocket to pay off everyone. However, immediately I'll ask you a contradiction, which is a kasha. We learned the Mishnah Maseches Yevamos, Gazal echad michamisha, if you stole from one of 5 people, and you don't know who you stole from, which one of them? We gave in class, we gave an example of a person who goes into a locker room, and there's 5 lockers there, and he stole from one of them $100, and he doesn't know which locker he took it from. The cameras show him walking out of the locker room with $100 in his hand. So, and he admits himself, I stole $100 from one of the lockers. And now we're trying to figure out whose locker he stole it from. And all the 5 people that have lockers there, all of them say, it was my locker that he stole it from. And they all say, and he admits, I stole $100. We see that he's holding $100. He stole $100. But he only stole from one person. He didn't steal from all of them. So 4 of them are lying. And they're all saying, you stole it from me. Each one is saying, you stole it from me. We don't know. What do you do in such a case? Zak the Mishnah over there, Maseches Yevamos. You put what you stole in between them, and you go away. Give it Rabbi Tarfon. These are the words of Rabbi Tarfon. So what's that in the Gemara? If we see from here that we don't say misfeika mafkina momena, we don't say take out more money out of pocket to pay everyone off when we have a doubt. Rather, what do we say? We say establish the money where it is until we figure it out. Establish the money, leave it right here until we figure it out. And for the Gemara, answers with a kasha. 1 second. How do you know that our Mishnah is Rabbi Tarfon? And Rashi explains, maybe our Mishnah is Rabbi Akiva, because Rabbi Akiva over there in the Mishnah holds that you actually need a Yeshalem l'chol echad echad, you actually need to pay to each one of them. So maybe our Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Akiva. So that will answer our question. But the Gemara answers to that. Well, no, you have to say that our Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Tarfon, because we actually learned a Braisa that says Rabbi Tarfon admits that if the guy tells 2 people, I stole from one of your money, and I don't know who I stole it from, then he needs to actually pay both of them. So we see over here a Braisa where Rabbi Tarfon himself agrees with our Mishnah, so we can't really use the answer that we gave before. But right now we're left with a stira, with a contradiction between over here, our Mishnah, that where you pay both of them, and misfeika mafkina and momeno, and this Mishnah where we say set the money where it is until we figure it out. And for the Gemara, it's a very big difference between these 2 cases, these 2 Mishnahs. In this case over here, he's coming, Sidei Shamayim, the Ganav is coming to clean his name. They shouldn't get punished from Shamayim, to do tshuva. He's coming to Beis Din and asking Beis Din, what should I do? And as Rashi explains this further. Rashi explains further, he's coming to Beis Din and asking Beis Din, what should I do in order not to get punished? I want to clear my name from Shamayim, I want to do tshuva, what should I do? So Rabbanan are going to say, look, you can't just leave the money by you until we figure it out, because if so, the person who you stole from is actually losing out money. So what do you need to do? If you want to get clean from Shemaim, you need to pay off both. Take money out of pocket. But over here, we're talking about a case where all these people are demanding from him, saying, Oisi goes, they're all saying, you stole it from me. And he turns to Beis Din and say, rabbis, what am I supposed to do? Like, I want to get out of this claim. Like, we all agree that I only stole 100. But how do I get out of this situation where everyone's saying that you stole from me? So that Rabbanan are not going to give him a punishment more than what he stole. Meaning you stole 100. You stole 100. The Rabbanan says, okay, look, pay back 100. You're admitting it. You're not running away from it. Pay back 100. 5 people are fighting over it. So leave it here until they figure it out. But if you want to get rid of their claims, just leave 500. Just leave 100 in the middle, and let them figure it out. So over here he's coming lots of Shemaim, and over here they're demanding from him. Katavila, they're demanding from him, and it losses Yidei Adam. Yes.
In the first part, when we were asking from Pikada to Geza, we said that the reason he's paying double is because the Chacham gave him a knas, not because he's trying to be good with Hashem.
Very good question. You're aligning the two steers and the two ways that we answered, which seem to be a contradiction, which seem not to be aligned. I can explain it to you later, not right now. Okay? Come back in 20 minutes. Okay, now that we concluded the third contradiction and the third answer, let's learn it inside, and then we're going to go on to the two other small parts of the Gemara. We're holding inside the Gemara. Virami Gezel HaGezel. 3 lines down from the wide lines of the Gemara. Virami Gezel HaGezel. I'm going to ask you a contradiction from Gezel and Gezel. I see we're already taking a little bit of a long time, but we're going a little bit slower this Chazara Shiur because we're doing it live. But I'm going to try to hurry up because it's already a long time. And also, we're coming close to the end of the class. Also, if you're watching this later, I want you to be able to do this in a normal amount of time. So we're going to try to speed it up just a drop. Not too much. Still, they should be able to understand that, and still in a way that we're going to go over all the keywords. Vidami Gezel and Gezel, and I ask you a contradiction from Gezel and Gezel. Katani Acha, it says over here. Now, Katani is a Raya. Katani, it says over here, we're bringing a proof from here. In general, Katani is referring, by the way, and Katani, Katani is a Raya, proving from here. Oh, my L'Shnayim, if you told 2 people, Gazalti Lechem Mikam, I stole from one of your manem, the Einye, they are Ezemikam, and I don't know which one of you, or Avil Shalech Mikam, a father of one of you, Hifki, that's Limana deposit by me a manem, the Einye, they are Ezer, I don't know who it is. Nice, Lazem, you give this one a manem, this one a manem. Frag the Gemara, or Mini, I'll ask you a contradiction. Goes Alecha Mechamisha. He stole from 1 out of 5 people. The Einir there is a Gazal, and he doesn't know who he stole it from. Zer Oimer Oisi Gazal. This one says he stole it from me. Zer Oimer Oisi Gazal. This one said he stole it from me. You put what you stole between them and you go away. These are the words of Rabbi Tarfon. Alma, what did we say before? What is the keyword of Alma? What is the keyword of Alma, Zef?
Raya.
Very good, Raya. Alma, we see from here. Misteka mafkinah mamona. Out of a suffix, we take out money out of pocket. Misteka loy mafkinah mamona. Sorry, my bad. Misteka out of a suffix, we do not take money out of pocket. But Amrina, we do say. Ukim Momoina b'ches kasmari. Set the money in the holding of its owner. Clear contradiction between our Mishnah where we say take out money and the Mishnah Masechus Yevamos where we say set it where it is until we figure it out. And the Gemara answers with a kasha, as we explained earlier. The Gemara answers with a kasha. Umimai, and how do you know? So umimai is a kasha. Umimai is a keyword of a kasha. Umimai, and how do you know the masnis in the hacha that the Mishnah over here Rabbi Tarfon is Rabbi Tarfon? Maybe it's not Rabbi Tarfon. Maybe it's a different Mandamar, as we're going to learn in Rashi. The Katani Allah. So, and for the Gemara answers to that. How do I know it's talking Rabbi Tarfon? The Katani Allah Dahi, because we learned about it over there. Moy the Rabbi Tarfon admits, but when he tells 2 people, Gazalti lechem mikam, I stole from one of you a money, and I don't know who I stole from. This one. So we see clearly that Rabbi Tarfon agrees with our Mishnah. And for the Gemara, the difference actually between them is Hassam over there in Mishnah Masechus Yevamos. The Katavi law that they are demanding from him. The 5 people are demanding, Oisi Gazal, you stole from me. They're demanding from him, they want their money. Hacha over here, the Bolat Sidei Shemayim, when he's coming to get checked off from Shemayim. We missed this last part of the slideshow, so let's go back. We just learned that in the case, in Masechus Yevamos, in the case of the 5 people, in the case of the 5 people, he's coming to get checked off from Beis Din. And in our case, he's coming to get checked off from Shemayim. And the Gemara actually brings a raya, a proof, that in our Mishnah we're talking about a case where he is coming to get checked off from Shemayim. Where does the Mishnah bring a raya from? Actually, because of the reason that the Mishnah uses. The Mishnah says, this guy, this fellow, this Ganev, he admitted from himself. He came and admitted by himself. We must say, says Rashi, if he's admitting by himself, he's coming to do tshuva. He's coming to see what he can, how he can fix this thing that he did. How could he do tshuva? How could he repair it? How could he pay? What can he do to be clean from Shemayim? And Beis Din will say to that, pay both. Let's learn that inside. There are 2 keywords in this next line. Make sure you look inside. Then we're going to do the Rashis. Then we're going to take a break for recess. Anytime that comes up recess, we'll get back. Okay. Daikanami. We also have a deal. We also make a deal. Daikanami is a. What keyword is Daikanami? Where is that? Who didn't ask that? Mendel? Deal. Very good. The Katani, because it said, we can also make a deal. We can also learn out. The Katani, because it says, it says in the Mishnah, because he admitted by himself. The God admitted by himself. That shows me, as Rashi explains, that shows me that he's actually coming to try to do tshuva and repair his name, clear his record from Shemayim. Shmamino, we learned from here. Shmamino is a keyword of which. Well, one second. What keyword is Shmamino? The verb. Very good. It is a raya. Beautiful. Let's do Rashis. Let's learn the Rashis. Holding Rashi the Ramaskal umasnisin the hacham mind Rabbi Akiva. How do you know the Mishnah over here is Rabbi Akiva? Is Rabbi Tarfon? The teacher look that you're going to have a kasha. And you're asking a contradiction between 2 Mishnahs. How do you know this one is Rabbi Tarfon? How do you know they're both Rabbi Tarfon? What's the other alternative? Says Rashi. Dilma Rabbi Akiva. Maybe it's Rabbi Akiva, as we explained in the slideshow. Dilma Rabbi Akiva. Maybe it's Rabbi Akiva. Maybe our Mishnah is according to Rabbi Akiva. What does Rabbi Akiva hold? The Poli Namidai. And he also argues over there in Masech Zivamis. The Oimer, and he says, Loizu Haderech. This is not the way to take him out of doing the Avera. Until he pays what he stole to every single person. Next, Rashi, the Katani Alodai, because it says over there by it, Chulu, etc. If it says clearly over there, a Braisa, that Rabbi Tarfon agrees with our Mishnah, Almos, so we see from here, Moide Rabbi Tarfon admits, Beha, in this case, Umashna, and what's the difference between our Mishnah and the Mishnah over there in Masech Zivamis? We see that Rabbi Tarfon agrees with our case, so Rabbi Tarfon is a contradiction between Rabbi Tarfon over here and Rabbi Tarfon over there. Umishanina, and the Gemara answers. So Umishanina is like more of an introduction to the next to the Dibur Maskell. It's not part of the Dibur Maskell because it doesn't say it out of the Gemara. Umishanina, we answer. The Gemara answers. Hasam to Katavila. Over there in Masech Zivamis, it's when they are demanding from him. V'hu, and he, ein chafetz, does not want litain to give ela min adin. He only wants to give what is responsible to give from the point of view of a din Torah. That's all he wants to do. He only wants to get exempt from Beis Din. He wants to get jail-free card. That's what he wants to get. He doesn't want to do the ultimate right thing. He doesn't want to get totally clean from Shemaim. He just wants to get free from Beis Din. And from a suffix, from a doubt, we don't make him pay, we don't make him obligated to pay each and every one. Because it's a doubt. I don't know, maybe you don't owe this guy. Why should you pay him? Over here, in our Gemara, we're coming to, the case is, when you're coming to clean your record from Shemayim, he's coming from himself, to consult. He's consulting with Beis Din. What should he do when he won't get punished? The hashto, because now, vadai for sure, I mean, when we say, Yudei Shamayim lo yotzosa, you are not yotza, you don't check off from Shamayim, until you give both. Why? she'im tehei munachas. If you're going to say, let this money rest, until it becomes, nimtza comes out, hanigzal, the person who is stolen from, mafsid ayotcha, is losing out money through you. So if you say that uki mamona in a case of theft, if you say uki mamona, then the one who you stole from is going to lose forever. You can't say uki mamona. Rather, you must say pay back everyone. If you really want to get clean from Shemayim, if you really want to be Yetza, Yidei Shemayim, pay back everyone. Last Rashi. We can also make a deal. The time of the Masnisim, that the reason of our Mishnah, as we referenced all the way in the beginning of Shir, the time of the Masnisim, the reason of our Mishnah, is that he's coming to be Yetza, he's coming to check off from Shemayim, Mina Oynash from the punishment, V'loy min adin, and not from what's required from the Torah. Midatol, time from the fact that the Mishnah depends, the reason. V'hoy dami piatzma, the fact that he admitted by himself, Shaloy hoya adam toy by klum. There was no person demanding him anything. Again, Shaloy hoya adam toy by klum. There was no person demanding from him anything. Mashma, it sounds like we understand from that, Shoboli Malek, that he's coming from himself to consult. Okay, we'll take a break now for back for a continuation of a Chazara Shiur on the last two parts of our Sugya, which go back and discuss the Mishnah from Maseches Yevamis of someone that stole from 5 people. But before we go on, there's one thing that we need to know beforehand. By raise of hand, you can tell me what is Shtika Kahida. Shtika Kahida, what does Shtika Kahida mean? Mandy.
Oh, if you're quiet, it's like you're admitting.
Very good. If someone comes over to you and says, you owe me $100, and you're just quiet, it's as if you admit it. Because if you didn't owe them $100, you would say, no, I don't know anything. You would object. If you didn't object, that means that you admit. Shtika Kaida, being quiet is like admitting. Something Gemara, Omar Mar, our master said, Omar Mar is Psichol HaMeirayim, opening up a new thing that the Ameirayim said. But it's going back to what we learned before. What did we learn before? We learned in the Mishnah of the person who stole from one of 5 people. If he stole from one of 5 people, and the Gemara said that in this case they are all demanding from him. They're all saying, I see Gazal, you stole from me. One second. What's this guy answering back? What's this guy saying? And for the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rav, Halash Shoisek. This person is being quiet. Rav Masna says in the name of Rav, Halot Seveach, that he is screaming. Now, the Gemara analyzes those 2 opinions. According to the Mandamah, it says, Halot Seveach, that he's screaming. He holds. Why must we say that he's screaming? Because if he would be quiet, then what would it be like? Anyone? Raise your hand. Can't see? Very good. If he would be quiet, it would be like admitting to all 5 of them. So it must be that he's screaming back. According to the Mandamah that says he's quiet, however, what does he hold? He says that, no. Shtika dahacha, being quiet over here, lav kaida, who is not like admitting. Why? Because over here, l'chol chad, to each one of them, the aminom, I hold, meaning the person thinks, the guy who thinks, maybe it's this guy that I stole from. I don't know. I can't object with full certainty. I can't say for sure it's not this person. Maybe it is him. I don't know. So therefore, because I don't know who it is, that's why I didn't object. That's why I kept quiet. It's not because I admit to each one. It's not because I admit to each one. Rather, it's because I don't know. I can't say for sure not. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. I don't know. Let's learn that. Let's learn this Gemara inside. We're holding the bottom of the page. We're holding the bottom of the page. Amar Mar. And this piece of the Gemara is a short piece of Gemara, easy piece of Gemara. Goes on to the next page. Amar Mar. Our master said, again, take out your Gemaras, look inside, follow along the dibur verbally. Mar, the master said, Hasam over there, the Katovilo, they are demanding from him. What is the other one answering back? What is he claiming? What is the Ganav claiming? And for the Gemara, Rav Yehuda says in the name of Rav, Halo Shoisek, he is being quiet. Rav Masna says in the name of Rav, Halo Tzeveach, he is screaming. Now, the Gemara analyzes. The one who holds that the other person is screaming, Avo, Shtika, but if he would have been quiet, Kaida. It's like he's admitting. So it must be that he was screaming. And the man the one who holds that the guy that was being quiet, he holds Shtika the Hacha, being quiet over here, Lav Kaida, who is not like admitting. Why? Because Matzi Amalei can find a way to say to him, Hi the Shtiki, this that I was quiet, L'chol Chad L'chad, to each person, the Amina is because I thought, Dilma Hayu, maybe it's him. I couldn't fully object to each person, because I don't know, maybe it is him. I don't know. That's why I was quiet, not because I admit. Rashi, back on the last Talmud, last Rashi on the page. The Halom Matayin, and the other one, what is he claiming? Okay, we need to fully understand what is the case of that Mishnah in Masech Zivamis. L'kol echad, what is he answering back? What is he claiming to each person? The Katani, that therefore it says, Maniach Gzela B'neim, when he started, he put the Gzela in between them, and he goes away. Well, what does he answer? Why do we paskin that way? What's he answering? Is he saying that I didn't do it? He's saying that I did do it? What's he saying? When does this need apply? We need to properly understand the case. Next Rashi. Soiveach, he's screaming. What is he screaming? What is he saying? Omar l'kol echad, he's saying to each one, Eini makircha, I don't know you. Anyone here knows who David Mendelbaum is? Yeah? I don't know. Who do you think you are? Right? Whoever knows what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about. Who do you think you are? I don't know. Eini makircha, I don't know you. V'shakli l'akulu v'azli. Now I'm sorry, you know what I'm talking about. And you know why I'm pointing you out, yeah? It's a few weeks ago, yeah. Okay, V'shakli l'akulu v'azli. V'shakli l'akulu v'azli, and they should all take it. Sorry, this is already the next part. Okay, so let's go back to this question. Before we go on to the fifth part and last part of our sugya, let's go over some ideas mukdamas. There's a halacha that we learned earlier in the Gemara called Safek Hinuach. It's a doubt. Safek Hinuach means, guys, listen up very closely. Safek Hinuach. What is the taich of Safek Hinuach? We're going to go through the taich, the definition of the case, like all the definitions that make it that the criteria of how we come to such a case, and what is the din. Each one has a few parts, so listen very, very closely. Safek Hinuach, the taich is Safek, it's a doubt if it was placed there. Hinuach means it was placed there. Safek Hinuach means it's a Safek, it wasn't placed there. Maybe it was placed there. What's the case? Let's say you found a baseball mitt and a ball on the side of a bench or under a bench in a baseball dugout in a park. And you don't know, maybe the owner put it there intentionally. Maybe he left it there, you don't know. What's the criteria of such a case? How do we define such a case? So number one, there's no siman. This is a case where there is no siman. There's no siman on the mitt. There's no name, there's no unique siman. Secondly, it's in a place that's somewhat guarded. Not for sure, not fully guarded. It's not in the street. It's not in a private room, but it's like somewhat guarded. It could be that someone left it there. Okay? Now, what is it in? Lechatchila, you shouldn't take it. You shouldn't go ahead and take this midden ball. Why? Because maybe the owner actually put it there intentionally, and he's going to come back and get it. And if you take it, he's not going to find it. But if you took it, you shouldn't put it back. Meaning, what should you do? Don't give it to anyone. Keep it. Don't keep it for yourself. Hold on to it. Hold on to it until the owner will prove for sure that it's his. Okay, why? Why is this the din? You shouldn't give it to anyone until they bring full proof, because maybe somebody's lying about it. Maybe they're lying. Maybe, as the case that we gave in class, Shmuel cousin found the mitt and the bowl in the park, and he tells some people in the class, someone else in the next class hears and says, "Oh, let me just go to Shmuel cousin. I'll say it was brown, or it was size. What size was it? 12. And I'll get it because somewhat of a similar. No. So you don't give it back. Shmuel cousin doesn't give it back until the owner brings Edom that he put it in. Why? Because maybe someone's gonna lie and say that it's really mine. So don't give it back. And at the same time, don't put it back over there by the bench, because maybe someone else is going to come and take it for themselves with bad intentions. Is going to come and take it for himself. So don't put it back there and hold on to it like Hashav Saveda, like returning a lost object. Now with those ideas mukdamas, let's move on to our Gemara. Omar Mar, our master said, back analyzing what we said before about this Mishnah of stealing from 1 to 5 people. Omar Mar, our master said, he should put what he stole in between them, and he should go away. The Gemara Shaila equally. What should they do? V'shaklula kulu v'azli, all of them. V'shaklula, and they should take it. Kulu, all of them. V'azli, and they should go. Should all of them take the money, divide it up? What should happen? The Gemara on that can't be, because we learned kol sekinuach, any doubt, maybe it was placed there. Lechatchila lo yiter, in the onset you shouldn't take it. V'im nata lo yazer, and if you took it, you shouldn't put it back. What do we see from here? Says Rashi. Rashi explains, what's the connection between this and this? What do we learn out from here? We learn out from here that if something is in a doubt, leave it there, leave it until we prove whose it is. Okay? If you don't know whose it is, keep it until you find out who the real owner is. So back to the case of the person who stole from 1 out of 5 people, the Ganav should not leave it there and go away. He should hold on to it until he finds out whose really it is, just like by Safek Inuah. And for the Gemara, so really he should hold on to it. And for the Gemara, no. Rav Safra says we need to the Mishnah really means not meniach zela b'neihem mistaki. Not that he puts the money in between them. Look at the board. Not that he puts the money in between them and he goes away. No, v'yaniach, and he should put. Meaning he should place the money in between them in front of Beis Din. And through that, and Rashi explains, through that he puts the money in front of Beis Din, he exclaims, figure out who it belongs to, and then he should hold on to the money until they figure out whose it is, and he should take himself out from the din. Mistalik means he should remove himself from the din. He says, look, here's the money. Figure out whose it is. And now I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to take myself out of the din. Meaning, I'm not getting involved in whose it is. Here's the money. I'm holding on to it until we figure it out. And with that, we complete our sugya. So really, it's not that he goes away. No, he holds on to it, but he removes himself from the din. He places the money in Beis Din and exclaims to them, figure out whose it is. And then he removes himself from the din. Siluk hadin means, if you're asked on the text, what does siluk hadin means? Removing himself from the din Torah. He is no longer part of the din Torah. As far as we're concerned, he admitted that he stole from one person. Everyone agrees that he stole from one person. Now we need to figure out who did he steal from. So he's done. His part in the din Torah is done. He can remove himself from the din Torah. Let's learn this Gemara inside. The Gemara inside is actually very few words, and therefore there's many Rashis that you're going to need to focus on and know properly. So make sure you're looking inside now when we're reading the Gemara and when we are reading it inside. Omar Man, 4 lines from the top of the page. Omar Man, a master said, Meniach Gzela, what was the din in the case of the stealing from 1 out of 5 people? Meniach Gzela Beineim Mistalik, you put the theft in between them and you go away. Frag the Gemara. V'shakli lakulu v'azli, and all of them should take it and they should go. Let me break up that sentence. V'shakli la, and they should take it. Kulu, all of them. V'azli, and they should go. V'ha'omar is a keyword of kasha. Hidach said, stating a very strong and difficult statement. V'ha'omar, Rabbi Abu Bar Zavda Doch said, Omar Rab, in the name of Rab, Kol Svei Kinuach, any doubt if it was placed there. If I ask you what is Safek Kinuach, the taich is, it's a doubt if it was placed there. If I ask you what is the definition of the case of Safek Kinuach, if you find something that might have been placed there, has no siman, and it's in a somewhat guarded place. That is the definition of the case. So, Kol Svei Kinuach, any doubt if it was placed there, lechatchila lo yitel lo ma'atzit, you shouldn't take it. V'im nata lo yachzir, and if you took it, you shouldn't put it back. You see over here, even on the cover, they have a long explanation. Where do you think they get the explanation from? Rashi, because the Gemara doesn't really explain much. The Gemara says very, very briefly. And we're going to learn Rashi soon, but we already explained it on the slideshow. And for the Gemara, Safra said, V'yaniach, and he should place it. Let's learn Rashi. Rashi, the Mamaschel, V'shakli lakulu v'azli. Should all of them take it and go away? Zok Rashi. Nimtza comes out, Zeh moitzi miyodai, this one is taken out from this person, Kedei lahafsid hanigzol ilamis, in order to make the person who was stolen from lose out forever. If they all divide it, it comes out that the person who was actually stolen from is losing forever. He's never going to get his money back. The Amar Rabbi Abu Bar Zavda Svei Kinuach. Rabbi Abu Bar Zavda said, if Safek Kinuach, what is a Safek Kinuach? Zok Rashi. All that we learned in Yiddish Mukdamis, all says here clearly in Rashi. What is Safek Kinuach? Matzah davar. If he found something, she'ein by siman, does not have a siman. B'tzad makayim, in the side of a place, she'mishtamer tzas, that's a little bit guarded. The loy shchiach, that's not common, it's not found. Inchi, people, the ozli that they go there. So let's say behind the bench of a dugout, usually not very many people go there. So it's a little bit of a guarding, it's a little bit of a hayat, a little bit, but it's not super safe. V'yesh l'spuki, and there is to be doubtful, as you need this. I'm doing this for you. You're going to benefit more from listening than from passing notes. Although I do appreciate not disturbing. V'yesh l'spuki, and we could have a doubt. Shema midas, maybe thoughtfully, maybe intentionally, Hunach Shama was put there, Ligniza, to be hit for hiding. Maybe he put his mitt and his ball over there. Maybe he hid it over there. Maybe he hid it until he comes back tomorrow to the park. Lechatchila lo yita, what is the din? Lechatchila lo yita, lechatchila you shouldn't take it. Zok Rashi, hamoitzai, the one who finds it should not take it. Kishayavai ba'olah, when the owners of the mitt will come, lo yimtzanu, because they won't find it. The siman ain't by, and there's no siman in it, sheyachriz, that you should announce. You can't say, I lost a mitt that's brown. Almost every mitt is brown. Light or dark, whatever shade of brown. But almost every mitt is brown, so it's not really a good siman. Or I lost a mitt that's size 12. It's not really a good siman, so don't take it, because the owner, he might come back and he's not going to find it, and he has no siman to announce, man. Lefichach, therefore, yinichenu zeh, this person who finds it should leave it there. Uba'olav yavav yitlanu, and its owners will come and take it. The kol shekain, and how much more so, you should not take levada yinuach, to something that was for sure placed there. Kedetnan, as we learned earlier in our Masechta, in Barak Elam Metzias, Daf Chafayim Beis, Motza Kliba Ashpa, Mechoseh, if you found a vessel in the dump, and it's covered over. So usually people are not looking for kalim, for vessels, in the dump. So when people dump their garbage, they don't look for stuff over there. So it's a little bit guarded. Could be they put it over there as a hiding place. Lo yiga boy, you should not touch it. That's where this din comes from. V'im nota lo yachzer, and if you took it, you shouldn't put it back. Says Rashi, why shouldn't you put it back? V'im, and what should you do with it? V'im bo acher, and if someone else comes and says, v'amar, and he says, Sheliu, it's mine, the siman and nice and boy, and he doesn't give a siman in it. Lo yachzer, you shouldn't give it back. Shema and Shaloi, maybe it's not his, maybe he's wine. The soif, and the end is, Haba'olim, the owners, Lavoi are going to come. The Yabi Eidim, and they're going to bring proof, they're going to bring witnesses. Sheheinichu Sham, they put it there. Lefichal, therefore, Yehimunach biyad zeh, it should be placed in this person's hand, and the person who finds it and takes it, until the owner comes. Unless someone can actually prove it's theirs. The high lo yachzir, because this, they shouldn't put it back there. It's not saying they should keep it for himself. No. Why shouldn't he keep it for himself? Because from the beginning, it came to his hand through a isser. He wasn't supposed to take it. If he has it now, that means that he did something wrong. If it was placed there, are you allowed to take it? No, obviously not. So if you took it, that means that you did something wrong. So don't keep it for yourself. So we see from here, and now comes the Gemara's kasha, something that we have a doubt. The man whose it is. You need to put it biyad misho, in the hand of someone, until this thing will be clarified. So similarly, in our Gemara, why should all the 5 people divide it? Let it stay in one person's hand until we figure out who it should really belong to. Next Rashi, in the Gemara's answer, Omer Rav Safra v'Yaniyah. Rav Safra says, and he should put it there. What does that mean he should put it? What's the Gemara's answer? Ha the Katani, says Rashi, ha the Katani, this, then it says, the Mishnah Mistalik, day goes away. Lav the lishkalu inu, not that they should take it. Velizlu, and they should go. Veloy shayetzienu miyodoi, and not that they should take it out of his hand. No, it doesn't mean that they should take it out. They take the money out of his hand. The ganim should keep on holding on to the money. Elo, rather, tehei munachas biyodoi, it should rest in the ganim's hand. Achi yisbar adavar, until this thing is clarified. Ad she'yisbar hadavar, until this will be clarified. The high mistalik, and this day is going away. This that the Mishnah says it should go away. Sil kadinu. It's removing himself from the din. V'yaniach zela b'fneim, and he should put what he stole in front of them. Bebezdin in bezdin. V'yoymar, and he will say, Baranu shamihu. Figure out whose it is. V'yitoil. And he should take the money with him. He should keep the money with him. Umistalek min adin, and he removes himself from the din. V'hagzela, and the gzela, yaniach b'yodei ad sheyav elyo. He should keep in his hand until Yanavi comes, or until we actually figure it out. And with that, we conclude the sugya. It's quite a longer sugya, turns out, with the Chzara Shiur. But I hope that when you review it over, using the video or by yourselves, it actually helps you, and you do very, very well on the test, and you actually connect with Hashem's Chachma, bring Mashiach down to this world, take him from Yad Mamash.